Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucy and in today's video I think I'm going to get rid of half of my book collection. So no, this isn't clickbait. I actually think I am going to cull most of the books I own. I do obviously love my collection and I have made many videos of me doing unhauling. Usually every spring, summer, I will make this video where I do a big unhaul and then I rearrange my bookshelves, which are behind me here. Now, I might be moving in the next few months and I'm going to make a big update video once I have something proper to share about that. But yeah, it's looking like I might be moving very soon. And the idea of moving with this is like low-key terrifying. So I am intending to cull as much as I can today. And I usually sell these books on like a website called We Buy Books. It's what I've been using for years in terms of like getting rid of my books, and you make a little bit of money from it as well. So I don't tend to give away any copies or sell them on my like Instagram or Vinted or anything. So I'm really sorry if there are some books that you would like to buy off me. I just find it easier this way to just get rid of them that way. Anyway, as I mentioned, we might be moving very, very soon. And I just really need to get rid of a lot of these. I definitely think my reading tastes have changed, and you know, to keeping a load of books that just don't really align with me and books that I just know I'm not gonna read, it's just important. I am one of those people, I don't know whether that's just my personality, but when I feel very stressed and overwhelmed, I need to just get rid of my things. And I don't know what that says. I mean, any psychologists out there, let me know, but books are one of those things. And right now, there's a lot of stressful things going on, which I will talk about in another video. And I just need to get rid of all my books. I'm going to keep hold of quite a few that are special to me, and I will be going through this video at the end with the unhaul, so I tell you guys exactly what books I'm going to get rid of. But first I need to sort through this whole collection, and I'm also going to quickly show you guys just how many books I've got and where I'm keeping them at the minute, so you can kind of understand the scale of the issue. So let's get going on that. Okay, so these are my main bookshelves here. But as you can see, I do have this like little area over here where things are just spilling over essentially. So this is the reality of the situation. And to give you guys a close-up, so I do of course have all of these books here. They are spilling way over onto the top here. Like they don't even really fit onto the actual shelves. As you can see, there's just stuff everywhere. And the main issue is really this area. So this first started as a little kind of rack that I would just put these books down here, and then on top of it I'd have kind of like my guitar leaning against it. I've got a ukulele back there, which is very old. But then this has started to happen, and yeah, it's mainly just because I don't have the space for all of these books, and it's become a problem really. So that is one of my jobs today, is just to make sure that there's none of this going on. And then I do also have this area that is part of this kind of shelving unit here. And I have all the kind of big hardbacks that I can't really fit anywhere else up here. But just looking at some of these books, I'm like, oh God, I can definitely get rid of some of these. Like, there's no way I'm gonna read them now. So I think there's a lot of work that can be done. So my plan is going to be to just throw down onto the floor all of the books that I don't really think I'm gonna keep. And then I'm kind of gonna go through them and tidy up these shelves as well, because they also need a bit of a tidy. And yeah, I really, really hope that I manage to get rid of a lot of books. So much effort. Anyway, let me just show you what the floor is looking like, because it's quite a lot. So I've made a pretty good dent, and quite a few of these are proof copies that I either have or haven't read. If I have read them, that means I'm not going to reread them. I do not want to keep them in my collection. Finished copies, there are also some finished copies here where I've read the books but I just don't want to keep them on my shelf. So that's kind of what all of this is. I have probably read, I would say, more than half of these, which is pretty good going. So the rest are just ones that I'm just, yeah, I just want to get rid of all of these, even if I've read them. I'm about to tackle this top shelf here. I would say this shelf has not been tackled since I moved in here 5 years ago. So I'm a little bit scared about the amount of dust that's probably going to come off these books, but it really needs addressing. Like, I need to sort this out, and I know a lot of these books I just won't be reading, so I'm going to be good and I'm going to just cull what I can. So in the end, I'm only getting rid of 3 books from this shelf up here, but I feel like that's a good start. And you know what? I do kind of want to keep the rest of these. Maybe not Spells for Forgetting, just because this one, I've read it, I really, really liked it. I will not be rereading it anytime soon, so I am going to get rid of this one. I am going to keep this little pile here, but I am going to get rid of all of this. Yeah, I'm really pleased about the progress here, and look how bare my shelves are already looking. So I'm sitting down now. I'm going to go through every single book I'm going to unhaul today. This might take a while, so I'm going to be speed unhauling, and if you have any questions about any of the books, do leave a comment down below and I'll answer your question then. But yes, speed unhaul, here we go. So quite a few of these books are proofs that I may have received a few years ago or have gotten from work, and I've either read them through other means, like on my Kindle, or I have read them and am choosing to unhaul. So I'm getting rid of this book, which is a book from work. I've read this on my Kindle, so I don't really need to keep the finished proof. Likewise, this is Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. I've already read this book. It's incredible, really would recommend, but I picked this up from work and have already read this. So I am gonna unhaul the proof. And it's fair to say with proofs, remember that you can't actually sell any proof copies or ARC copies that you receive. You have to recycle them or give them away to someone, but you can't sell them because they're not like a physical product that you can put a price on. So all my proofs will be recycled. Likewise, another workbook, I've already read this on my Kindle, so that will go to be recycled. Then these 2 books, which are Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell, beautiful edition, and The Magician's Guild by Trudy Canavan. These I picked up in a charity shop, and realistically I just bought them because I was like, oh, that could be fun to buy. And I have not read them in years, so I'm just gonna get rid. I kind of know now that I'm just not gonna read them, so we will be getting rid of those. So 2 proofs that I am going to be recycling. One of them is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I picked this up years ago from HarperCollins where I was working at the time, and I never got round to reading this. I just don't think I'm going to be able to fit this in. So this is going to get recycled as well. Likewise, I was sent Monstrous Design by Kat Dunn a good few years ago, but I didn't read the first book in the series. So I am going to recycle this one, as I just realistically am not going to be able to catch up anytime soon. Next, I am going to be selling A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is book 1 in the Sholomance series, and I got this in a sub box. I think it was a Luma crate. Long story short, I don't have any plans to read this, so this is going to be sold. We have some more paperbacks. So one of them is Legend Born by Tracy Dion. One of them is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte, and the other one is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I have read this one and it was all right. I'm not going to reread this anytime soon. And these other 2, Shirley and Legend Born, typically I would keep Shirley because it is a classic, and I do like to keep hold of my classics. The only issue is I don't really like this edition. This is a Wordsworth edition, and I don't love the look of it, so I am probably going to give this away, or, you know, sell this. And Legend Born, I've heard non-stop amazing things about this, but I do know this is a 3-book series, or maybe 4-book series. I just don't have the time or investment at the moment. to read this, to start this, even though I've heard incredible things. So I'm quite sad to be getting rid of this one, but I think it has to be done. Some more paperbacks to be getting rid of. This is a proof copy of What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. So I've read this actually and loved this. I read this in advance of me chairing their event, which was super fun, but because I've read this, probably won't be rereading, I am going to recycle this proof. Likewise, another proof I never got around to reading. This came out in 2020. Have I read this? No. This is a proof of These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And even though I really do want to read this series, like, you know, I've not read any Chloe Gong and I feel like I really need to, and people love this series. I just know I'm not gonna get around to it. Like, if I haven't read it in 5 years, I probably won't be reading it. So I'm gonna be sensible and get rid. A book I have read, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Will not be rereading this, I don't think. Yeah, it was fun, I enjoyed it, but like, I won't be rereading. I'm not the biggest Colleen Hoover fan, so I am just going to be saying goodbye. Okay, so a finished copy here, King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. I believe this is like vampire romance, and I'll be honest, I didn't love Scarlett St. Clair's other books, so I can't remember what it's called now, but the Hades and Persephone type of retellings. Didn't love those, and I just don't have the time to be giving this one a chance, sadly, so I am gonna be selling this. Next up we have two hardbacks. One of them is A Curse of Blood and Wolves by Melissa McTernan. I don't even know if I'll be able to sell this because this is a Fairy Loot edition, and yeah, I don't know if this is gonna like register, but for my Fairy Loot editions, if I can't sell them, I will just give them away to charity. So yeah, this one, I have no desire to read this. I think like, I've not heard amazing things. So I think this is probably gonna go. Likewise, The Key in the Lock by Beth Underdown. I think I received this as like a PR, like, you know, a publicist sent me this one to read and review. And that's when I was really going through my like historical Gothic fiction phase. I'm not really reading a lot of Gothic historical fiction at the minute, so I am just going to say goodbye to this. It's been on my shelves for a good few years. Okay, we have more hardbacks. One of them is Pandora Sykes' essay collection, How Do We Know We're Doing It Right? Essays on Modern Life. I bought this a good few years ago now, and I really love Pandora Sykes' writing, so that's why I bought this, because I was a huge fan of her writing. However, I'm not really kind of into like those essay collections anymore. Like, I used to be really into them. I just don't think I'm going to read this anytime soon, so it's best to just get rid of if I'm not going to prioritize it, you know. So sadly that has to go. Next up, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ardier. So I have kept this book since before I moved into this flat. That was 2020, so this is probably 7 years old. It's been on my shelf for that long. And I haven't read it in 7 years, so I think that's my answer really. Like, I haven't prioritized it, so it has to go. The next one is Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. This was the first Louise O'Neill book I ever read. Fell in love with Louise's writing. This book is phenomenal, I love it, but I'm not gonna reread it, I don't think, so I'm gonna say goodbye. Next up we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Read it, loved it. Won't probably reread, although I'm kind of like, do I just keep this because I did really love it? No, like, what's the point? Like, I'm not gonna reread it. Yes, I may talk about this in videos, but I can always use a thumbnail to talk about it in a video. So for that reason, it is gonna go. This book is so old. It's been on my shelves since like 2016. My True Love Gave to Me, edited by Stephanie Perkins. This is a festive YA romance collection. I have reread this book so many times. I love it. I just haven't reread it in the last few years, so I think it is going to go. The next one is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. I read this and ate it up. It was so, so good. I just know I'm not going to reread it, and I don't really mention it on my channel much either, because like a lot of the videos I make now are either romantasy or kind of like insider info into the publishing industry or like writing content. I'm not really talking about like Gothic fiction as much as I mentioned, so I am going to get rid of this one. The next book I'm getting rid of is Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. My good friend Joe, who worked on the PR for this book, sent this across to me. I've read it, I've inhaled it. It was so, so fun. I just don't think I'm going to keep it. I'm probably not going to reread. So I'm going to give this one off to a person who will love it, you know, and will cherish it. So this one is going to leave me, sadly. Okay, so the next book I'm going to get rid of is Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. So this was sent to me 2 years ago and I've just not read it yet. This is a proof copy though, so I can't obviously sell this. So this is going to get recycled as well. A bit of a random one, but I was like, I'm probably not going to be rereading this at all in my life again. Like, it was good to read, I'm proud I've read it, it's on my Goodreads, but like beyond that, you know, it probably will never come up again. So this is Euripides' Medea and Other Plays. So I did read this a few years ago, like 7 years ago maybe. It's been on my shelves ever since, and I just don't think I'm going to be reading, you know, the Greek tragedies ever again. I don't know why. Like, maybe one day, but like, I've already read this one, do you know? So I'm gonna say goodbye. Next one I'm getting rid of is Verity by Colleen Hoover. It kind of looks like I'm just getting rid of all the Colleen Hoover books I own, but I am keeping Ugly Love because I haven't read that one yet. I, of course, have read Verity, gave this 5 stars, absolutely loved it. I just don't think I'll reread it, so I am going to say goodbye to Verity. We have another romance book. This is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. So I picked this up like a year or 2 ago, had every intention of reading it, but realistically I've never picked this up because I don't really read contemporary romance. And I should have known that when I picked this up, but this was at the height of like book talk, you know, contemporary romance books. And I fell into the hype, and I should have just listened to my gut because I don't really read books like this. So this is also going. Next one is a proof copy that I'm giving away of Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I have read this book. I probably won't be rereading it, so I am going to give this one away. And now for some chunky hardbacks. So the first one is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. Now this is like a spin-off series to the Grishaverse, I believe, and I have just fallen off the Grishaverse like train. I read like Six of Crows and I read the main Grishaverse series, but like the spin-offs I have not kept up with. So I do think I'm just going to say goodbye to this, even though it is a beautiful book. Realistically, I know I'm not going to read this, so I'm just going to say goodbye. Okay, the next book I'm going to get rid of is Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. I received this a few years ago, like from the book publisher, and for some reason I've just never picked this up. There's always been other things I've been meaning to read, so I just never got around to this. And now I just don't really have that like desire to read it, so I do think I'll be getting rid of this one as well. Another random one here. This is Shakespeare for Every Day of the Year. I am so tempted to keep this because I do just think this is like a lovely thing to just have on your shelf, but I have not picked this up. Have I read it every day of the year? No, I've not even read it one day of the year. So I feel like for that reason, I probably should just get rid of it because I haven't picked it up since the day it arrived. So I think it needs to go. 4 more hardbacks, let's go. The first one is The Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. This is a historical fiction. The thing is, I really would love to read this. Like, this is kind of my vibe, like historical, you know, kind of like dark historical. This sounds great, but I haven't read it. Like, I just haven't picked it up. So I am gonna get rid of this one. Okay, likewise, 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. This is, like, you will sense the theme here. There's a lot of kind of like Greek myth retellings coming up that I just bought because I fell into the overall trend. And realistically, like, I'm just not gonna read it. So 1,000 Ships is one of those. Then we have Ariadne, which I did read. I've read this one. Not gonna reread, I don't think. Like, I don't need to keep it on my shelves, but I have read this. And then we have Pandora by Susan Stokes Chapman. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna read this. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. Like, it's stunning. But I'm kind of past the retellings side of my reading. I'm just a bit over them, so I am gonna get rid. Guys, I promise we're almost done. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I bought this at the YA Literature Convention a few years ago because they were doing this like beautiful new cover look of the series, and if you don't know, like, one of my all-time loves has been Cassandra Clare's books. Like, I do love the Shadowhunter universe, and I just bought this because I saw it and I was like, I want to get the new editions, and I never picked up any of the other ones. So even though this is gorgeous, I don't have any of the other books like in this like livery, so I am going to get rid of this one as well. Okay, the next two kind of come as a pair because they are A Darker Shade of Magic and A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. Now, I have the first two books in the series here. I've been meaning to read this book series for years and I've just never picked it up. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Like, I'm kind of out on my like YA, you know, my YA phase, I guess. Like, I'm just a bit, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to read this, so I am going to let them go. Next is a proof copy of Beastly Beauty by Jennifer Donnelly. I received this very kindly from the publisher like a year or two ago. I didn't read it, like for some reason it just was down the list on my TBR and then it just got forgotten about. So I feel like I need to be practical and reasonable here. If I'm not gonna read it anytime soon, I need to get rid. Likewise, another proof, this is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. This is like a dark academia debut. It sounded amazing, but I'm not gonna read it anytime soon. So, gonna get rid. Next one is a fantasy book called The Embroidered Book by Kate Hartfield. It is huge. I picked this up when I was still at HarperCollins working there and everyone was talking about it, so I just thought I'll give it a go. I have not read this and probably won't because it's just so big, so yeah, sorry. Next up is a proof copy called The Fellowship of Puzzle Makers by Samuel Burr. Now, I have already read this because I read it on submission because it was circulated to the publisher I was working at the time as well, and I received this proof and I'm just not going to read it because I have already read it. So gonna get rid of this proof. We have another proof copy, Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. So this is the must-read fantasy of 2023. That's how long I've had it. Again, I think it's like sirens or mermaids. I'm not going to read this anytime soon, so getting rid. And then we have Iron Widow by Siren J. Zhao. And I've heard so many amazing things about, you know, this author's writing, this book, and I bought it and I was like, great, I'm gonna get into my kind of like science fiction, kind of like not steampunky because it's more science fiction. It's like more, you know, high concept science fiction. I don't read science fiction, so why did I buy this? I don't know. But you live and you learn. I've wasted my money on a book that I haven't read, so I'm gonna give it to a better home. Guys, I'm stressed. The next book I'm going to give away, even though it broke my heart into legitimately a million pieces, is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zorner. So I did read this at the beginning of the year. I fell in love with it. Please read this book. It's incredible. It's an amazing memoir. Just so emotional. Bring tissues. But I just know I'm not going to reread this, so I am going to give it to a better home. Next up is a graphic novel, which I have talked about in a few videos. This is I Shall Never Fall in Love by Harry Connor, and I really would recommend this, but I'm not going to be rereading this, so I do want to get rid. I'm getting rid of The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and this is for a reason actually, because I did receive the revised edition. So Samantha Shannon has gone back and she's revising her earlier books in the Bone Season series. So this is the very old version, and realistically I should, you know, read the current version that she's updated. So I am going to get rid of this one. Next, I'm going to get rid of this beautiful proof of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've never read this series, and even though I really liked Stephanie Garber's other series, that kind of Once Upon a Broken Heart series, I just don't have any intention of going back and reading the Caraval book, so I think I am going to get rid of this one. Next up is Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan. Again, I think this was like, I picked this up the same time I picked up Iron Widow, and I was just a bit like on a shopping spree and just picked up a load of books that like realistically I just haven't gone back to. So I do think I'm going to unhaul this one, get rid of it, and hopefully it'll go to a better home somewhere. Okay, I think we're nearly there. So a few more proofs. I have A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland. This was sent to me very kindly from Pam Macmillan, and I think I am going to unhaul this one, as well as Alexandra Rowland's other book, Running Close to the Wind. So I received both of these, and I just don't think I'm going to read them, sadly. So yeah, I'm just going to get rid. The next book is another proof that I'm getting rid of. This is The Collar Bound by Rebecca Zahabi. So again, this is another fantasy book that, I mean, it came out in 2022 and I still haven't read this. So that's over 3 years ago and I'm realistically not going to read it. So I do need to get rid of it. And that is it. We have made it to the end of the video. I actually can't believe it. Like, it's insane. I do need to give my shelves a proper redo now, and I am going to quickly do that and I'll show you guys the finished result. But thank you for bearing with me here. It's been a long old video and I hope you've enjoyed this process of what I've decided to get rid of and what I've decided to keep. Stick around for that final shot of those finished bookshelves because I know that's what you're all here for. And bear in mind, those bookshelves will probably be packed up in a few months anyway, but it's nice to have a clearer space. So thank you for sticking with me here. I'm gonna show you guys the finished product. Again, I'm not happy with the way this is laid out. I didn't want this to be an aesthetic bookshelf redecoration type video. I just need them on there just so it's easier to pack them up eventually if we do move. So let me just show you guys what I'm left with. You saw the before, so now see the after. So first off, we have 2 boxes that are being sold. These are both full of books. And then this is the decluttered bookshelf. As you can see, it looks so much better. Look at this area now. I'm so happy with this. So I have managed to strip back a few books on this top bit here. And I have gotten rid of a lot of books from these shelves as well. So I am pretty happy with how this is looking. It does look a lot neater. Like, I am a bit frustrated by these, but genuinely I can't really put them anywhere else, so they will have to stay for now. This shelf I am so happy with because you'll remember this was completely full of books, and now I've managed to fit them neatly on here and fit them back on there, which is all good. So I'm happy with, even if it's just a few different paperbacks there, like it's better than, you know, what it was. And then as you can see, this has a little gap, but this shelf is pretty much going to be untouched because, you know, these are just all my chunkier hardbacks, which I don't really have space for, but there is a little bit of space there, so we will take it. So guys, we've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this video enjoyable as you just unhauled a load of books with me. It just feels so freeing just being able to get rid of stuff, you know, like I'm a big proponent of that. So yeah, it feels so good. And now I have some streamlined shelves to be enjoying. Thank you so much for all your support and thank you for watching this video. If you are new here, why not click that subscribe button? I make lots of videos on romantasy, writing content, and just general lifestyle fun things as well. So I hope you stick around. If you're not already following me on my social media channels, I'm at BookBellReads on everything, and I will see you very, very soon for my next video, guys. See you soon. Bye.